Hello friends, this is Chris, and this is a lovely plant that we often see in our walks around Portland. And this one is one of our most common herbs that your herb walk herbalist will talk about. So if you're going to lead an herb walk, you got to talk about this one. This is, anyone know? Let's pull off a leaf here. This plant right here, this is Plantago lanceolata, also known as plantain. And there are two kinds of plantain. Actually, there are two big different types of plantain. One is the kind that turns into a banana that we eat that lives in the tropics, and that's not this one. This one is a Plantaginaceae, is the family name, plantain family. And there are a lot of different types, but the types that we see the most are this one, Plantago lanceolata. It's all over Portland, and it grows in beautiful spots through fields like this. And let's see, there's a whole bunch. There's some more right there. There's some more right here. And it's all over. And how do you recognize it? Now let's go to our keys. Generally speaking, Plantago lanceolata, this one, is about that tall, about 7 or 8 inches tall. And then it can be a little bit longer. And it grows in drier areas than the more common one back east, which is Plantago major. And that sometimes is called white man's footprint, because the old story was that it used to grow where all the white folks, when they first came in contact to colonize the Americas, they were stepping everywhere and compacting the ground, and that's where this plant would grow. So, but the name Plantago, the Latin name, does mean footprint, because it does love compact areas that have been compacted by humans. And the cool thing about this plant is, in addition to being really easy to identify, and we'll talk about the keys in a minute, is it's a good medicinal. It's definitely something that we use. It's one of our top 100 herbs. So that's good to be able to harvest this freely. So this one has these parallel veins that go all the way to the end of the leaf. Here you can see, right to the leaf tip. You can see that. And they don't really have a leaf stalk. They just have one leaf that goes right into where the plant meets the ground. So the first key feature is the parallel veins. The second key feature is that the leaf does not have a leaf stalk. See, that's just part of the leaf that's been modified, and it goes right into the ground like that. Thirdly, it puts up, which we can't see right now, but I'll share a picture on the video, is it puts up a single wiry flower stalk and then a head of flowers. Whenever you see a collection of flowers attached at one spot, we don't call that whole thing a flower, because each flower is capable of reproduction. We call that an inflorescence. I know it's a big long word, but it's a good one to know. So Plantago, and I'll share some pictures, has an inflorescence on a wiry stalk and no leaves along the stalk. And then it has the parallel, so that's one key. The second key is the parallel veins. The third key is that it doesn't have an actual leaf stalk either. It just goes straight into the ground. And so when you can identify it with those three keys, you'll see it. This is an extremely common plant. Now, how it's used, it has some pretty cool constituents. It's got mucilage, meaning if you chew it, it gets a little gooey in your mouth, and that's very moistening. It's also got tannins, so if you chew it, your mouth gets a little astringed and puckers up. So you get the puckeriness and the moistness at the same time. And then it's got some other fun anti-inflammatory compounds, iridoids and flavonoids. And so it's anti-inflammatory, it's moistening, and it's astringent. So you can imagine that'd be really nice on your skin if you get a wound or a bee sting or a cut. It's also used that way internally. So what you do, you just take this. One way to do it is, you take that leaf. This is called a spit poultice. You take it and you then you put down your wound, which I'm looking to see if I have one. That's probably my closest one. Sorry, I'm holding my phone. But you put the spit poultice right the heck on there, and then, oops, there you are. Now we have the mucilage, the allantoin, the flavonoids, the iridoids, and the tannins all sitting on there, tightening up and healing that little wound that I have. I don't really have a wound, but you know, you get the picture. And so it's also, last thing we'll say about it is plantain is a drawing agent. So drawing agent means it pulls out things like slivers or bits of metal or glass that get stuck underneath your skin. Why is that not in focus now? Come on, folks. There we go. So Plantago lanceolata, generally speaking, a low-growing weed, very common on sidewalks and grassy fields. The lanceolata type grows more in dry areas, and the major that we'll see on our walk, hopefully in May, grows more in the woods, kind of like moist areas along trails. So this is Plantago lanceolata, also known as lanceleaf plantain or English plantain, and we use it internally to heal the gut, and we use it externally to heal the skin. Wonderful medicine. When it's very young, you can eat it, but at this stage, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not the tastiest thing in the world. It's too much fiber and all that cellulose and lignin in there. So it's not super edible, but oh, one last thing I'll say about it is that another very related species, the ovata, is where when you look at the seed head that we'll show a picture of, the Plantago ovata is where we get psyllium. So psyllium is a source of soluble and insoluble fiber. It helps you get more regular. It's one way to help yourself if you have constipation. And so we will also talk about that. And you can use the seeds for this one too to have that same effect. They're not as good, I don't think, personally, but they're still very useful medicine. So, all right, hope you enjoyed this. The keys are the parallel veins, the lack of a leaf stalk, and the wiry flower stalk with a collection of inflorescence, and we'll show you that on the video. All right, look forward to talking to you again soon, and hope you see some plantain and use the spit poultice on a bee sting or something else that you need. All right, until next time, folks.